Yes, thanks for staying with us on the South Australian Sports Show. Now, Poppy, the voice of cycling, of course, is Phil Liggett. Yes. We all know it is Phil Liggett. Yeah. The voice of harness racing here in South Australia is our next guest. Jimmy Jacques joins us. Jimmy, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, Phil, Robbie, thank you very much.
But you know what, Jimmy doesn't mind his cycling commentary either.
Loves his cycling.
Loves
17 years on the Tour Down Under, and we'll come to that in a little while. But we need to have a look at some footage that defines the man with the voice of harness racing here in South Australia.
Did a travel in second place, Alaya Rose. On the inside, Linville Dainty. One out, one back, Leona Tejan. On the inside, three back, Booberawi Boy. And Harding coming three wide now. We're one step closer, just racing greenly at the tail end of the field. Heading towards the 600. Second quarter, 32-1. 65 for the half. Now he goes full steam ahead. We're one step closer. And he goes forward three wide quickly. Going with the Alaya Rose on the inside. Cop and Eiffel can't go with them. Then in turn behind those between runners where we own Tejan. On the inside, Linville Dainty, and at the tail in the field, we're looking about 5 or 6 metres to Booberawi Boy. I think we're going here. In front, leading the way, it's Alaya Rose. Leads by 2 metres in second placing. No, I don't think I'll get through this. Yatesy, where are you? We need you, mate. In front of Alaya Rose. Down the outside. Trying hard. Was one step closer. But Alaya Rose wins. Second placing. We own a Tejan, I think. Or on the inside, Cop and Eiffel.
Well, Jim, for all the commentating that you've done over the journey, 33 years of commentating harness racing. Is it a little bit distressing that you remembered most when your voice isn't working?
Yeah, that's right, Phil. Look, that was 6 years ago. It was May 17, 2010. It was race 1 on the program, a Monday afternoon at Globe Derby.
So you don't remember it? No.
I remember it really well. Yeah, look, it's amazing. It was Blacks of Fake who won the Inter-Dominion, which is our ultimate race in harness racing. And that was probably the last Inter-Dominion we're ever going to have at Globe Derby. And this race, which was just a 2-year-old race 1 on a Monday, where there's about 4 people in the crowd at Globe Derby, and I lost my voice. And look, there was a lead up to it. I'd worked for a Queensland company where I actually went to visit the boss the week before, and I got caught in the rain. I booked into my motel room. The air conditioner hit me, and I didn't change my wet clothes. I got a cold out of that, and I had to work Friday. I worked Saturday. My voice was getting worse and worse. My wife made me a honey and lemon drink that I took in a flask and was drinking that at work. Sunday I had to go to Port Pirie, and I didn't want to go, but all the other guys that we had on the team were all working. There was no one spare, so I had to go to Port Pirie and call the trot Sunday night. My voice got worse again, and Monday I go to work and I woke up, my voice was like this, and I thought, oh geez, I'm 50-50. I had to do a preview of the meeting for Sky Channel on Sky 2 before the first race, and my voice just got really, really bad. Anyway, as soon as I finished the preview, I rang Brenton Yates, who's a workmate of mine. He's our primary greyhound commentator. I'm primary harness. And I said, Yatesy, I said, mate, I'm struggling a little bit here. He said, well, I'm out shopping with Matisse, his daughter. He said, I'm 2 hours away because he lives south. I said, look, I'll see how I go, but I might need you know what I mean? So anyway, I go there, I call the first race, and I just thought I'd use my diaphragm a little bit differently, get the voice out. Didn't happen. No. Crumbled.
Unbelievable.
And we have with our equipment, you have a button where you can press a button which stops anything. So I cleared my voice at the 400, pressed the button, cleared my voice. And I was sort of half hoping that Chris Barsby, who was our on-air coordinator in the Brisbane studio, and he commentates harness racing. I was hoping he'd happen. Yeah. Didn't happen. He didn't come in. And then at the 200, I just said, I'm gone here. I said that at the 400. I think I'm gone here. Then at the 200,
but you found.
Well, I had to get the job done because there's no one else there to do it. You know what I mean? And then at the 200, I said, Yatesy, where are you, mate? We need you. I'm gone. But as you heard, the voice just got worse and worse and worse. And that was it for me for the day.
You talk about that incident, Jimmy. You got in the cold. You knew how it happened. I mean, athletes talk about, I need to look after my body. I need to make sure that. Is it the same for you, the voice? I mean, you know, there are bits where you go, I actually can't go out in the cold because I can't risk it. I've got races to call. I mean, do you find that happens a lot to you?
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit paranoid about that now, obviously, with that situation. And I probably don't, I'm not meticulous like, you know, people that sing and use their voice. They'll do warm-up lessons before they go and do a session. I don't do any of that. And I have had training to do that, but I'm a bit lazy, I suppose. But yeah, you do get concerned about, like, I don't like going to, say, a nightclub or discos, we used to call it nowadays, you know what I mean? Because you got to scream your guts out to talk to someone, and I find that actually strains my voice if I do that. Yeah. And as you can hear, my voice is not crystal clear now. I mean, I've got a history of just, you know, look, I call very hard. Sometimes people say I call too loud, but I've sort of usually, I'll go to a session where my voice is starting to go down, but then I expand it a bit more and I go back up to where I should be. So, yeah, you do get a little bit paranoid about losing the voice or doing things that might cause it.
I want to go away from the horse calling for a bit.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Tour Down Under. You've called the last 17 Tour Down Unders. Is there a favourite moment in any of the races that stays with you?
Well, Phil, the first ever Tour Down Under was in 1999. And basically, I started commentating cycling in 1989 at Hanson Reserve, and Mike Turner was a promotions person for cycling. He'd run his own meetings, and he grabbed me and he said, "Look, Jacques," he said, "we want to make this sport, take it to a high level," because he believed that as an athlete himself, as a cyclist, knew how hard the work was. And he said to me, he said, "Look, we want to get the crowd to be part of the action. We want people to come to cycling and enjoy the moment." I guess when we went to the first ever stage of the Tour Down Under, and back there it was called the Sensational Adelaide Tour Down Under, because it's run by the Tourism Commission of South Australia, right, Events SA. And as I'm walking towards the east end of Adelaide, you could feel the buzz in the air. It was electrifying, you know, and that in itself just got me. And back in those days, I was a guy, whenever I hit the sack, head went on the pillow, I went to sleep. I couldn't get to sleep for about 3 hours.
Still buzzing.
Yeah, just the adrenaline rush. So that in itself, to me, was probably one of the things that I thought, this event there's something special. And when I got there, Turner said, "Oh, Jacques, we'll get 15,000 here, you know." We got 45,000 people on the first ever night of the Tour Down Under.
Great
now,
vision.
Yeah, and its progress went to the Jacobs Creek Tour Down Under, and now we know it as the Santos Tour Down Under. But I called every start, every finish of every stage for the first 17 editions of the Tour Down Under.
Right.
And I said, look, you know, that's it. I didn't want to do any more. I'd done my bit. I realised in the year of 2015, which was my last ever Tour Down Under, just the stage up Old Wollonga Hill, that's just sensational. I hope they don't change that. But Richie Port was behind the group. He just pulled out, and I could see him. And even before, a split second before I said, "Here comes Richie Port," the crowd just exploded. So the knowledge of the crowd watching cycling now has grown and developed amazingly. And I said to Mike Turner, I said, "Look, mate, I've done my job." Mike wanted me to go to 20 years. He said, "We'll go to 20 years," because when it first came, I said, "We'll get 10 years out of this race," but it's now heading towards 20, and it's still growing. It's still growing. And I just said, look, everyone that goes, they know about the sport now, so they've built up their knowledge about a sport which is quite intricate and hard to understand, but it's an amazing sport.
Jimmy, we could talk forever, lots of stories. We'll have to get you back to finish.
Forever.
No, well, every 6 years he's pretty good. So,
He's a
but unfortunately, we've got to get to a break. Stay with us, still plenty to come.